Oh, you caught me. Welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be talking about conditional statements and looping. So in C sharp, we have several conditional statements such as if else, we have the do, we have the do while, we have the while, we have the do while, we even have the switch case. But without further ado, I'll just like to touch base on this conditional statement, most especially if else, which is the commonly used, and then we'll also go into looping. Looping basically is a way of iterating through list of data or an array of data. So if we have an array of data, that means data being compartmentalized into a container, and then you want to have access to each of the elements. So you can iterate it by using a for loop. We can also use a for each to loop through it. We can do that by getting, by playing with array, or also playing with generate list elements. But we'll get into the code and I'll show you how it works. We'll be talking about looping, and then we'll talk about if else statement. But first of all, like I said, looping is iterating through the data in a list or array. So we have a for each looping, we have the for looping. So first of all, I'll start with the for loop. So this is for loop. I'll create a variable of I and assign that as 0. Then I want I to keep incrementing, which will eventually be like okay, increment I plus plus. But before then, I want whatever the incrementation to be. I want to put a limit to that. So I want I to be less than 10. Okay, so that should ensure that it starts from 0. It keep incrementing until until I is less than 10. Let's see how that works. So I want to print out I. Okay, so then we have to make that readable as usual. Okay, so let's see what that gives. So it will start from 0, keep incrementing, then until it gets to a number that is less than 10. Okay, so that's why we have 0 to 9 here. So even if I make it start from 1, and I want it to be like less than or equal to 10, or I can even change this to 20. So the 20 is the highest limit. The increment will start from 1, and then it will get to anything less than or equal to 20. So if we run that, we'll see how that works. So we have like you see, we have like it starts from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 till 20, right? So that is how the if else, that's how the looping works. Sorry. So but what if I have something like an array object? Let me declare array. By the way, this is how to declare array. Okay, so this be an array object, and I have an element in array. I have like a random numbers in there. Let's just create a number. Okay, so I guess we have like 10 numbers here, right? By default. So now I don't want to explicitly put number of elements in here. So I want this loop to like read through this array object. So what I'll do is I'll just take out this 20. Okay, and then I'll make it I less than array object dot length, so it will read through the length of all the array elements. Okay, then I want to like print out every element in the array, so I will just call the array object. Okay, then I'll just assign the I in there. Okay, so it reads through it. Let's see what that will print out. Okay, so we can see it print out all the elements of the array. Okay, so the reason it's not printing 4 is because it's by default array starts from 0. Okay, so this 4 is 0, then the next one is 1 2. So if I put this back to 0, it will print out the 4. Put this back to 0, it will print out the 4. So it has to start from the first one. By default, array starts from 0 elements. So that's why you can see we have the 4 there. So I can even make it explicitly print out, like let me see, if I wanted to print out the first element, which is 0. Okay, that will be 4. Okay, that's the first element. You see it's printing out 44444 and iterating through it. So that's how it works. Okay, what if we want to use a conditional statement? Something like let me assume that if the elements equal to, so if we have something like, if I wanted to print out only the even numbers in this list here, so if array, if the element of array modulus 2 equal to 0, by the way, this is how you check the remainder. Modulus is to check the remainder. So if any elements here divided by 2, if the remainder equal to 0, then just tell me that this is an even number. This is an even number. Now, let me see. This is an even number. Okay. Then it should print it out. So it should print it out. Else. Okay, then I can just give it an else statement there. Not even number found. Not an even number. Let's see how that works. Okay. So this will check through every element here. Then it divides it by 2. If the remainder is 0, that means it's an even number. If the remainder is not a 0, it just print out this it just print out this message. Okay, so let's see how that works. Okay, and let's start that and debug it. It should print out a message. So this is it. It prints out only the even numbers. This is an even number, 4 6 8 2 8. You can see that, right? Okay, so basically that is the if else statement. I put a condition there. If it meets that condition, print it, else print this one. Okay, so what if we want to play with something like an anagram? Okay, that is like a boolean value, but that's a little bit complex here, so I'll probably just make that as a separate um, video on its own. So basically we have just covered looping and if else statement here. So looping, in looping as well, we can also as well have the for each. Okay, so instead of using this for loop here, okay, so I can just have something like for each var element in array. Okay, so this element serves as I. Okay, if elements, so the elements that serve as each element, if element modulus 2 equals to 0, okay, then it should just print out the element. So this is a for each loop. Let's try that. It will return the same result like the array itself. I mean, like the for loop itself, you know, you see we have the same result. So this for each is much more effective when we are trying to iterate through lists or an object. Okay, so yeah, we also have the list type too, but we'll talk about that when we are covering generics. But for now, let's just focus on array and then the for loop as well, and the if else statement condition. So we can use this to actually achieve many things. And if you have any question, just put it in the comment section, or you can go through this video again and practice it and make that work. And yes, in the next class we'll be looking into some other probably anagram. I'll make a video especially for anagram where we'll be using boolean value and some more of if else statement, so that way we can have a vast understanding of how it works before we move into generics and objects. So thank you for coming in today, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Share this video as well and let others also learn from this. See you in the next video.